The blue dragon led the way with scales that gleamed as bright as day. With treasure foretold and dreams of gold, we'll follow the dragon come what may.
Friday's a bit of a blur for me. I don't remember a whole lot.
Daniel doesn't remember anything from Friday.
Like we got up.
It was the same morning as every other morning of the fest. We got up. We're
early.
gonna get attacked at like 10 a.m. and then so we got suited up and we sat there for a couple hours and nothing happened. So then we went about our business. You left to do wedding.
I went
stuff.
to Shadow and was a gate guard over at Shadow for a while.
Yep.
Wait, you guarded Shadow?
Yeah, I was a gate guard over at Shadow on
Yeah, the
Friday
Abyss,
morning.
man. That's how it works.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I was.
I didn't know that.
I stood outside with one of their gate guards and talked for like an hour on Friday morning.
Honestly, probably being a guard was some of the most fun I had the entire fest, if I'm being honest. Like, being able to, like, hang out at the gate,
Harass people.
see everybody that's coming in, talk to people, like, it's actually a lot of fun. Highly recommend at least doing one shift as a gate guard.
Yeah, because you're out there with the light, and you're just, hey, who goes there? Yep.
You gotta talk to everybody.
Gates open anyways. You got alcohol? Or
Yeah, you get all the rumors, all the gossip. Because as soon as somebody comes back to camp, if something big happened, they're going to be, like, wanting to tell people. So you kind of get that, and you get to pass that on to other people.
Yeah. Yeah, so you're hanging out with Cassandra's people all day.
Yep.
Eventually, I think we came up to reclaim Edgar.
At some point in the morning, yeah.
Could Cassandra go back as well that time?
Maybe. Because she was in our camp for a while, I remember.
Yeah.
That was on Friday. Cassandra and Edgar went back to camp.
Yeah, Friday evening they spent in our
Yeah.
camp.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, but before all that, you were doing wedding prep. I don't know if do you have any want to talk about wedding prep at all? Because a lot of stuff went into this wedding. I didn't know any of it. All I know was, like, I'm just putzing around in camp. I don't know where the heck Dorian is.
If you were going to be planning a Drachenfest wedding, come and see him.
Please, no.
He has all of the connections, He knows all the people to talk to.
Well, so...
You had to visit some guilds, right?
So we had to visit the Mages Guild because the wedding needed to be held because of how the wedding was going to go down. We needed the wedding to be held at the Grand Ritual Circle. Mm-hmm. So we needed to visit the Mages Guild to get permission or to book a time, which it was super booked because that's the Saturday is the final battle.
Yeah.
So everybody was doing all their stuff. So we scheduled a time for Saturday. Really cool there. I got to see an assassination attempt on the Grand Mage.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
How did that go for the assassin?
Well, the Grand Mage of the Mages Circle had a life ward, so they survived, and then the Brass Brigade responded super quickly, and they got him.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. How does one get a life ward?
Oh, that's a Mage's spell. Mages can cast on
spell,
themselves
yeah.
to give themselves more HP.
And prevent insta.
I think insta kills, yeah.
That's like a
Might have to use it
useful
on
enchantment. We might have to look into
No,
that.
I'm pretty sure mages use them on themselves.
Can you enchant items with life ward?
I don't think so.
I don't think there's any enchanting yet.
I don't think there's just enchanting.
Anything's possible
Yeah.
if you
But
imagine hard enough.
shout out to Kaket, who I feel like did most of the wedding prep. I was along for the walk, and it was a lot of walking.
That's cool though. That's cool.
They were from Shadow Camp, right?
Yep.
One of Cassandra's handlers.
Yeah.
One of our
Hey,
She's a wild animal.
new in-game in-laws, sort of.
what's that?
I said one of our new in-game in-laws, sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what we called each other.
Yeah, that is.
We're walking
yeah.
around.
Yeah, it's accurate. Yeah.
They all got cork
That's pretty
necklaces. I got the honor of presenting the
That is cool. Yeah.
Shadow Dragon
A cork
with a necklace.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Pretty sick. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, so you were off doing, like, going to every guild on the face of the earth, trying to, like, put this all together. I remember something about, like, Phoenix juice or something.
Oh, so we had to go get a couple things from the Red Dragon avatar because they were going to get bound to the Drachenlands, and the Red Dragon was in charge.
Right, that was the goal, right? Because, like, they were going to get bound to the Drachenlands so they didn't have to leave in between fests.
And so they could stay together.
Forever, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And so that gets Edgar out of the whole
Yeah, we had to get
Planeswalker enslavement.
We had to get a thing blessed by the Red Dragon, and then we got ribbons Here you can see them tied together. A purple ribbon blessed by the blue dragon and a blue ribbon blessed by the shadow dragon as the two camps.
Yep.
That's cool.
Oh wait, or is it shadow blessed by blue and then blue blessed by shadow?
That's what I said.
That's-
Purple
that's-
for
yeah,
shadow,
that's what he
blessed
said.
by blue, and blue for
I
the
thought
blue
you said
camp.
red.
There was no red.
There's so many colors floating around in my brain right now. I'm glad it wasn't there. I would have messed it up.
It was a time. It was a time and a half.
Yeah. And then we were just bumming around in camp, waiting to be attacked, and then just
And it didn't happen. Well, and then some other fight broke out. So
The fight broke out at Shadow.
again. So we went out to assist them.
Yeah,
And
we brought a siege weapon.
We brought a siege weapon, and then we sat in the field arguing about who we were going to use the siege weapon on for 30 minutes.
It was a cannon. We brought
We
a
found
cannon.
out somebody sabotaged our camp.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like
so
we had to
when we
argue
fi-
for
when we,
even longer.
yeah,
Yeah.
we finally
Yeah,
decided we were going to attack.
our siege weapon was sabotaged.
Yep.
But thankfully
Yeah,
they
it got,
found the
like, gumped
sabotage
up.
before
Yeah.
shooting, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we had to clear the blockage, so it was like we had to fire it to let. But yeah, basically we were debating whether we were going to attack the people sieging Shadow, and then for some reason we decided we were going to attack Red because they were right there, which ended poorly,
To say the
very
least.
I
poorly
think we missed our first 2 shots.
at the gate, which was impressive because it's a stationary target.
Okay, but it's like...
But no, and then we
And
got,
at that point,
Yeah, that-
Shadow was destroyed.
Yeah, the gates.
gates
broke.
broke over at Shadow.
And then everybody from who...
Well, no, Shadow held for a little while after the gate
They
broke.
did.
Yeah, there was
But
some fighting
but
in the
we
gate.
were still figuring out our stuff.
Oh my gosh,
for so
we didn't
long.
talk about the best part of the long siege on Thursday.
What happened?
So as the
Rewind.
gates were getting ready to break at Shadow, the orcs had been up in the marketplace,
Oh,
and
yeah.
they're tied to Shadow, and somebody had hired them to come down and help with the siege, right? So they
To
were
attack
they
Shadow.
were in the attackers' lines, and essentially as the gate broke, the orcs kind of pushed their way to the front and then turned around and routed the entire yeah.
Like, that's amazing.
I wish I would have saw it.
I really
Seen
wish I
that.
would have. I was dead. So
I was dead.
They turned around, looks like we back on
Yeah.
the
Yeah, Shadow players had some real clutch moments throughout the fest. That was one of them, and then Final Battle, which we'll get into. There was a pretty neat moment. But yeah, so then we died again.
Yeah,
me and you.
that's
did.
the whole thing. Yeah, we
Yeah.
turned the cannon on Red's gate, and as soon as that happened,
It was Jover.
yeah, some of our foes turned around and started pushing us. We quickly got surrounded. They encircled us, flanked, and we fell in front of Red's gate, defending the cannon and our War Master.
Yeah,
Keck.
Keck was right there.
They made it out, as far as
I
I'm
made
aware.
it out.
Actually, I'm not aware. I don't know what happened
I'm aware
after
of
I
what
fell
happened.
because I quickly fell, got quickly killing blow
Yeah, it got
and
coup de
then-
grace real fast.
real fast, and
Yeah.
then I was on the ground being like,
Our cannon took fired 2 shots, then was out.
yeah, and then everybody kind of retreated back to blue, and
Well, we got pushed back down the hill to the.
You guys rallied though.
I
we,
grabbed you
we
a little bit. Do you remember me grabbing you for?
Yeah.
Because we were starting to get pushed back.
I
and
got pushed out to the side.
You got pushed out to the
And
side,
then-
and I saw people, so I hit this dude and I get back, and then I literally just kind of grabbed
Pulled him back
Dorian,
into
and I was
formation.
like this way down the hill, or we're gonna get caught and split. And thankfully you came, and then there was some other blue people up ahead, but we couldn't have gotten to.
So, and then a little bit later, as we were getting pushed back again,
yeah.
one of them said, "Get your wounded out, and we'll let you go as long as
Yeah.
you leave."
Yeah.
So that's how I
Yes.
got out.
Yep.
That was a nice gesture.
yeah, how nice.
Same here.
Yeah.
we got
we were
cooed.
on our way to Limbus at that point.
Yeah,
You guys were defending the thing, and then we just got surrounded. I remember right before we got surrounded, I got hit with an arrow, and I just took one look, and I was like, "We're not getting out." And I
could
just
be-
skeed it away.
That
as
could
you
be the
guys got-
tagline for every combat encounter we were in. And then I got hit by an arrow. Because I feel like that's just how every single one of these stories goes, especially when we get to the final battle.
Oh,
The
I only got
archers
hit
were
by
pretty
arrows.
dope,
I only
though.
got hit by arrows in the final battle.
The
Yeah.
archers were dope. I mean, I didn't have a shield. I just had strikers. The archers were aiming for me right away, but it was really cool. Just I'd be like, all right, where's my next move? And then I get hit by an arrow, and I'm like, crap, I need to keep moving so I don't get hit.
You don't
by
have time to
arrows.
think.
Yeah.
Um, But yeah, so trip 2 to Limbus
Yep.
was Idenian's last. And
Yeah, Idenian and Fengar went to Limbus, and only Fengar came out.
yeah, so
And
I came out holding Idenian's helmet That's the only thing I remember.
Yep.
I showed up to Blue Camp with Idenian's helmet in my hands, and that's all Fengar remembers.
Yeah, so for those of you concerned about permanently losing a character, generally, if you don't come back from Limbus, it's because you want to. Everything at Drachenfest should take place with your consent. So if you want to retire a character, you want to permanently die to make game for other people, like you can talk to them ahead of time and you'll work something out without going into details of how Limbus works. So what happened was, through a bizarre just accident, I permanently died in Limbus accidentally, not planned. And I was given the option. I could have come back and gotten like a second chance at everything, but I decided to play it straight. And
good on you.
Yeah, I felt like it was appropriate and made for a good story. So Idenian and all of his backstory straight died.
Gone.
Completely useless.
The
now.
rest of the party doesn't know what happened to Idenian. We like to hope that he went back to his home plane. Maybe.
Yeah.
He could just be reduced to atoms.
That was my headcanon, is essentially like, I feel like the given how powerful the planeswalker we were tied to was, that I probably got reset back to wherever. So I'd probably still getting summoned by him.
Can't come back to Drachenfest.
Nope. Once you permanently die in the Dragonlands, Limbus won't let you return. But that put me in a really weird position where we're essentially near the end of the fest. It's like Friday afternoon at this point, and final battle Saturday morning, and I had no character. So I kind of just went back to the tent for a little bit and was like, just thinking. So then I became Cork, because I had the Cork necklace.
Yeah. So who is Cork?
So Cork essentially just woke up in a ditch on the side of the road on Friday afternoon at Drachenfest. No real memory of how he got there or why. And basically kind of scrounged some of Idenian's leftover gear and crashed in his cot because he had nowhere else to stay. I fleshed out Cork a little bit more in the interim. It turns out that waking up at a random location where there's fighting and drinking just seems to be part of the day-to-day for him. But yeah, so I had to come up with that from scratch. But that's probably a good point to talk about character bleed, because that hit you pretty pretty hard.
Yeah. So as a first-time LARPer, kind of like listening to all these like podcasts and like all these different outlets of the LARP community talking about character bleed, like it's like when things that happen in game affect you as a person outside of game, and vice versa, where you as a person outside of game start letting it impact how you treat others and are treated in game. Like, like you're super annoyed, so that's reflected on with your character, or like, vice versa. So as we died in front of Red's Gate, Michael, was like really, I think that kind of just like, wow, this is a pointless fight. Like, why did we even do this? Was it like poorly planned? Yada yada. Yeah. And I knew we fell. I lost my HP, and then it's just like players just come up and like execute and then just move on. I was like, wow, like they can't even give me that was like the least lifting death I think I could have had, but playing as it was, I was like, well, I got executed. I wish it was a more grand execution. Like, I send thee to Limbus, let your soul find peace. Nah.
Yeah.
Like, that would have been cool, but no, just like execute, move on, execute. Like, I was a little disappointed in that. So if you're watching this, if you down somebody and you're going to coup de grace, give them the execution they deserve. Adds a little bit of flair. Add some role play. It would boost
pull
them.
out the dagger you never use for anything.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Like, give them a little bit of lift. I think that would have greatly impacted my mood going to Limbus, because I picked up my shield, and I kind of wandered up to Limbus, knowing that I had a long wait in line ahead of me.
Yeah.
And then the things that happened in Limbus, I felt responsible for. And
which you weren't, but at the time,
yeah. So and I knew how much time and effort and actual money, we've all put into this, the money that Connor spent on his garb, his character, all his kit. And I was like, he just, I can't use it, or and I felt just terrible. And I was like, man, like I'm responsible for this, like this and that, and like it just like all that stuff in game that was happening to Idinian just like hit me like a coal truck, and like yeah, like I broke down like in camp, and yeah, it took a hot minute to really calm down, refresh.
Yeah, I remember talking to you.
It's only a
Yeah.
game,
Yeah.
but like almost instantly, like refs were like, "Hey, are you all right? Let's talk this out."
Yeah.
It took me aside. I had so many people come up and say so many kind words and really like make sure that I was okay.
Yeah, it's a very nice supporting community.
Oh,
at
absolutely,
Drachenfest for sure.
Yeah, like shout everybody in Blue Camp. Thank you so much for being there. For me,
Yeah, because like Brodo was talking to you,
yeah,
and one of the refs came checking me when I was in the tent. I had headphones on, so I didn't hear them, but talking to them afterwards, and like I said, even after I permadied in Limbus, like even afterwards, like I had 4 or 5 other opportunities that if I'd changed my mind, I probably would have been able to work something out or find a way to come back. But
yeah. Yeah, so I think that just that weight of guilt just like really hit me.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was not okay for a hot second, but then yeah, after a while unwinding, and I was like, like that. Yeah, like it just sucked. It just sucked. That's it. But at that point, it would kind of pull ourselves together. I took off all the armor and everything, and we just went up to the bazaar.
I think that's when I was cooking all those burgers. I'm like, Michael, get a burger.
Yeah.
We need to eat these. I'm like, because I was like, where you guys been? I've been cooking these burgers.
You've been dead.
I mean, and you're like, and then I did realize you guys, you were frustrated. Like, yeah, Connor's taking a little break. And I was like, okay. I was like, that's for good and all, but we got to eat this food. I was like, we got to eat, like, this food's going to go to waste. We got to eat this.
Yeah. But that's when like the fighters tournament was happening.
And then we went up to the, we
eventually
both went
wandered
up,
up
together.
there and we kind of wandered around.
that was a show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then
And I went silver on that show, so it was pretty good.
yeah.
I mean, I was running diplomatic messages.
Yeah, Joe was out like doing more diplomatic,
Doing all that, yeah.
marriage stuff.
Yep.
No, this was with the whole debacle with Red and the Gate and the Surgeons Guild.
Oh, right.
What?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because while we were standing, do you remember that? Like, in front of Red's gate, deciding what to do. Yeah. Some members from our group.
Oh yeah,
Attacked.
they violated the neutral.
Right,
So
because
they
there was-
attacked Red's gate guards, who were also the guards for the Surgeons Guild, apparently. And there was a whole debacle about
They had a
that.
triage tent right in front of it. Not right in front, but like
by the gate,
right next to their gate. Yeah. Which was like this whole thing. I didn't know what resulted in any of that. I know people weren't happy.
Yeah, there was stuff that happened.
Because the Surgeons Guild is super neutral. Like, if you attack somebody from a bazaar, one of the bazaar surgeons, who are members of the guild, like unprovoked or anything, like the guild can refuse you service or won't help you in your time of need. So,
which is a big deal.
yeah, you want the surgeons on your side.
I think.
Or at least not actively working against you.
Right, they're willing to scalpel, so you know.
So yeah, no, I got approached by a member of the Surgeons Guild, to take a message to our diplomat that one of our members had to go to the head surgeon and give a formal apology about the whole incident.
So was that you that went up?
I had to go
No, he was
find.
carrying the message.
I found the diplomat.
Lucci.
Lucci.
Yep,
Lucci.
I had to go run
Smoochie.
messages with Lucci.
Lucci Smooch.
And that was all taking place around the same time as the fighters tournament.
Yep.
Lucci was a good diplomat. He was.
Lucci was
yeah,
great.
He kept.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was-
going.
Felt
I
bad.
give
He
real
was
credit.
everywhere and anywhere.
Yeah,
give
he
him
was
credit.
exhausted. I'm sure.
Smooching, boozing.
He was schmoozing.
I can't
Schmoozing.
tell you how many times I saw him take off his hat and go like this.
Oh yeah.
But I give him credit.
Yeah, they-
Lucci, if you're out there, thank you.
Thank you.
The other thing that happened was it is the night before the wedding. Both parties said yes, they're going to go through with it, and it was quickly determined, well, this is it. This is their last nights being single. Let's throw up a party, a bachelor party. It was bachelor / bachelorette party. So what happened was, as soon as the Fighters Guild tournament ended, things were like kind of traveled back down to Blue Camp.
They were having the best,
Um,
most creative garb contest right after that too. Or
Oh
something
no,
like
yeah,
that.
the fancy hat.
Yeah, the
contest.
fancy hat
Yeah,
contest.
that was in our camp.
Yeah,
the
that was
fancy-
fun.
Yeah, there was that. No, I'm talking about there was like a
There was
garb
a
contest.
dress contest.
dress
Oh, up in the
contest.
bazaar.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't
Yep.
know that.
In
That's,
the-
that's
the-
what was happening when we were parading around.
The same place that the fighters tournament was.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah.
What was I?
Bachelor party.
So we were
Well,
parading
Well,
around.
when we got back down to Blue, we're having a fancy hat contest. That was hilarious. I don't really need to say more. It was a fancy hat contest.
Yeah,
A lot of the things there
we're
were
not hats. Yeah,
just things strapped
the
to
the
people's
term
heads.
hat was stretched and used quite vaguely in many circumstances.
Yes, it was a blast to watch. Maybe this year I'll participate. Who knows?
Yeah.
But we got down there and we're like, boom, bachelorette party. We're going to visit Lobacaro up in the
We
bazaar.
had already scheduled that beforehand.
Yep, scheduled. Thank you very much.
Yep.
They knew that we were coming, but we're like, Edgar just can't pick up his date. Just like carrying him.
You quite literally can't. Yeah.
Yeah. So what
got no
I did
bicep muscles.
was I was like, oh man, what do we have? We had these wooden chairs with arms. Edgar is actually sitting in it right now.
Yep.
Well, I'm not.
Yeah, and I had these extra tent poles, these like 10-foot long tent poles. So I ran up to the camp shop, the store that had the tenting supplies, and I bought a pack of zip ties. And I actually got this tapestry. So we laid the tapestry on top of the chair, and then we zip tied the tent poles to either sides of the chair, and we made like a makeshift palanquin. How do you pronounce that word? But essentially,
Palanquin, whatever.
yeah, we were carrying Edgar in this chair, like on our shoulders, and we had like 2 lanterns strapped to the front too, like headlights.
Yep.
It was great. Lieutenant Braddock and his crew, Hiram and others, helped us out, like carrying Edgar around. We paraded him up, and everybody's like, "Oh, what's going on? Oh, bachelor party. Meet us at La Bacaro. Like weddings tomorrow at the Great Ritual Circle."
Yep.
And we stopped by Shadow Camp, picked up the lovely lady. Cassandra was done in her she had her date night outfit on. We picked her up, put her in the chair too, sitting on Edgar's lap, and we many a joke was made.
Yeah, the same joke was made 80 times.
Yep.
Yeah.
I forget what it is, but I don't want to remember.
Balls bones. We carry them up through the bazaar.
And everybody thought they were so clever. That was the thing. Everybody had the smuggest grin on their face when they would come up and yeah, it was.
Yep, it was funny though.
Yeah, it was.
But yeah, we paraded them through the bazaar. We just kept like doing a couple laps, and then like we would get stopped by like everybody and anybody. The avatars were there. They stopped us. Players, they would like give us little gifts, like to the lovely couple, or to the happy couple, and like they would like give us little gifts. We put them in like we would hold on to them, like different trinkets and stuff.
I was taking
like
all
all
the
this stuff that like Edgar's wearing right now. It was amazing. And we started Lobacaro, hung out there for a good while, got some drinks, toasted the couple. People would like offer him gifts and stuff.
Seeing if my shirt he's wearing still stinks. This is the shirt I wore the first day, and then Michael's like, "We need a shirt for Edgar.
We need a
For
fancy shirt."
He's like, "Is this gonna work?" I'm like, "It's got like pit stains on it." Sure.
Yeah, because
I
prior
don't think it's been washed since, but
prior to
that's
this
okay.
outfit, he was in just like a robe, I think.
yeah,
right?
just
he
a
was.
tunic, and he had like a cape and stuff.
I mean, he was just a scribe.
Yeah, we didn't really have the plans for what Edgar became, but
Things,
Yeah.
It happened.
yeah,
on
it
his
happened.
home world of Ravnica, he is a.
Oh, stop.
Don't disrespect our boy. He's a grown man with
His
a family
name
now.
is Skeletor.
No,
Oh,
stop.
it's Edgar.
Skeletor's cool. That's okay. But yeah,
But yeah, on his home plane of Ravnica, he's a scribe for the Orzhov Guild, so he's essentially an accountant that runs all the tallies and whatnot. A lot of desk work. Meanwhile, his betrothed is like this, really this goth girl,
Yeah, I can't remember what Cassandra's
backstory was.
Backstory was.
I can't off the top of my head either, but she was really cool. Yeah, so it was a great time at the bachelorette party, carrying him around at Lobacaro. Lots of fun gifts and toast to the happy couple. We eventually brought both of them back down to Blue Camp where the party continued, and they both just spent the night in Blue Camp. In the morning, once again, this was like the night before the final battle, so a lot of people were actually like extra hyping it up.
Did not slow down the partying one bit.
Nope.
No.
If anything, it increased it.
Everybody from every camp was there, singing shanties.
Blue Camp was hopping. Yeah.
Yep. Singing shanties, telling stories, drinking drinks. It was a good time. Still went to bed relatively early compared to everybody else. And then the morning was the day of the final battle. But before that was the wedding.
Yep.
And Cassandra needed to go back to get ready.
Yep.
So her people came down, fetched her, took her back, and we prepped Edgar. Brodo lent one of his fancy vests for him, and we spruced him up with a couple other things. And we took him up on when it was time.
Palanquin again.
Yeah, palanquin, whatever.
However you pronounce it.
Yeah, and we headed up with our mages. Eris was presiding, and a couple other people were helping out. Some of the bards had some music, and that's when it started the downpour.
Oh.
It was so like the rainiest moment of the fest.
Nothing like rain on your wedding day.
Like, we still had a good number of people who came.
There were a
which is
decent amount of people.
I think we would have more if it wasn't downpouring, but it was still, we still had a good number.
Yep.
Yeah, because we were telling people all the night prior, like, hey, wedding's at 10 a.m. at the Great Ritual Circle, and everyone's like, oh, we'll be there. But yeah, hungover, rain,
Yep.
10 a.m. Nobody was ready.
Well, that was
But
probably
that was still a large number, so it's cool.
that was probably one of the more surreal moments of the fest for me, is because Identity was dead. Cork had just joined the group like less than 24 hours before. So I ended up taking part in the procession as like the bearer of Identian's helmet in like remembrance of him not being able to be there.
Yeah.
So I had this weird moment where I was like my own fill-in after I died. So yeah, it was kind of a neat moment, and like there's a sketch, I think it's in the archive now, of the actual wedding.
Yeah.
And like so I'm there in two ways, which I think is kind of neat. But
Yeah, a little surreal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was very odd experience.
Yeah, but we stopped by Shadow, picked up Cassandra again, and Blue and Shadow merged to go up to the Great Ritual Circle.
Yep.
And then we split on either sides of the aisle, either sides of the circle, and Cassandra processed in, and then we sat them down in chairs. They held hands, did the exchange of the rings, and all like the binding of the knot and all that.
We tied our hands together.
Each side each skeleton had a stand-in to say the vows. I read out Edgar's vows. It was pretty sick. It was such a cool moment.
Sick to the bone.
It was such a cool moment, despite it being raining. We had some music, and we were all just there. Like us, our groomsmen, we had Lieutenant Braddock and I think Hiram and a couple other guys were there for us.
6 groomsmen and 6 bridesmaids.
Yeah, and then then all the people for Cassandra. I don't remember anybody's names.
I'm thinking of what happened right after.
Yeah, and then we're just standing there in the rain for 2 plastic skeletons, having the time of our lives. It was great. Yeah. And then after that, everybody's like, okay, awesome. And then we left Cassandra and Edgar sitting by the Great Ritual Circle, just in peace. At last, their bond was forged, ever to live in the Drachenlands, just as the happy couple as they were. So yeah, they were content to just sit there as we all went to war. So,
yep, final battle.
Yeah, so we head back to camp because it was at that point rallying and mustering for the final battle. Yeah, and that's a whole story in of itself.